It's always a pleasure to get to talk to one of my favorite people. You hear him calling the Sharks games with Randy, Drew Remenda, Randy Hahn have been doing it forever. Drew's like me with the Warriors. He took a sabbatical for a little bit and then
Yeah.
came back,
Yeah.
and now he's here. And now we're all happy that you're here, Drew. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate it.
Hey, buddy, I wouldn't miss it, man. You know how much I love you, and we go back a long way. And
Yep.
I am glad to talk to you again anytime.
Oh man, it's amazing, and it's so cool now. Well, it's cool for me. I don't know how cool it is for you, but I actually get to see your face when I'm talking to you.
Well, I'm not sure how you're being nice because this, I was thinking.
Well, I have the same thing.
If I could, yeah, if I would just, I said in the summer, I'm gonna go Kenny Rogers it. What do you think, like that? In the summer, I'm gonna do a Kenny Rogers and just Botox the hell out of it.
No.
And then like a wig.
A wig?
I've actually thought, Tommy.
Wig?
I swear to you, I have thought. There's so many days I've thought, okay, I'm gonna get a toupee. I'm gonna play it, and I'm just gonna wear it to a game once and play it straight as an arrow. Right? I'm just gonna walk into the meeting. I'm gonna have it on. I'm not gonna say a thing. And then I'm going to go on the broadcast with it. I'm just going to play as straight as can be and see what kind of reactions I get. I'm at the point now where I'm thinking, yes, I really want to do that.
Now, here's the question.
Yeah.
Did you keep a straight face?
Yeah, no, probably not.
And so give me an idea of what you were thinking. What kind of style and what color would you go?
Oh, I go like Elvis jet black for sure.
Okay.
And with the side comb over.
Comb over?
Yeah, a little bit. No, I have.
Oh, you could like Bill,
I have the big
Bill
side
Murray
part.
and Kingpin?
I would look like I'd look like Elvis. My mom loved Elvis. I loved Elvis. I would look like Elvis. Well, I would have hair like him. I wouldn't look like him. Yeah. Obviously, look at this face. I have more wrinkles than my bulldog. So, my old bulldog. But I've thought about it, and then I would go with it and see how long it took somebody to just go, "What the are you doing?"
What if you know what? Now this wouldn't be as hard to pull off. Right. I don't think. But what if you did like the one like kind of like thick strand of hair, like go total Hare Krishna and just stick in the back of your head, and like it just comes off, and you just walk in there and roll with that.
Saw a guy in just in Toronto. Saw a guy up in the press box with that. It was pretty slick, and then he just had the ponytail in the back, like nothing, like mine, and then the ponytail. Yep. Okay, but here's the thing. There's a guy. There's another bald man. So I'm in Toronto. I come out in the first period. There's a guy who's one of the off ice officials, bald guy. Okay, short, like me, and some guy comes out, reporter, one of the writers says, "Hey, I want to take a picture of you two together." And I went, "Oh, gee, why?" Really funny. Two bald guys together. Big surprise. It's the last thing. It's the last thing that's allowed in the world right now to make fun of is bald heads. Okay. And you can't make fun of anything else but bald guys. Okay. So I put a quick stop to it. I told him to go, himself. Yeah. And then he goes, no, we did it with Barry Trotz, and I don't want to do it with you. I said, okay, what does Barry Trotz and this gentleman who I've never met until right now and me have in common? We're all freaking bald. So I said, no, again, go bleep yourself. Thanks very much. And now I'm at the point now where I'm putting a stop to all that crap. As soon as somebody says anything about being bald, I jump down their throats. And I've been bald for longer than I ever had hair.
No, yeah, I don't get that. Maybe because I'm 6'8". I don't get that as much.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Well, I'm 6'8", and look, let's be honest. There are people that look at me and go, "That dude's a part of the Aryan Nation, isn't he? Aryan Brotherhood." Like, so they're not gonna mess with me. Like, even though I'm not, I kind of give off that vibe. Like, you know what? I don't care. I don't feel like making fun of that guy's bald head.
A 6'8" guy. There's you know what? I think they'll make more fun of a 5'8" guy versus a 6'8" guy.
No, I think you're probably right, and I think that's also a form of discrimination.
It is.
Right.
My life, you know
So
what? The struggle is real with me, Tom. The
oh,
struggle
it
is real.
totally is. Now, tell me if you buy this.
Yeah.
Because I agree with you. Like that's kind of the last
Yeah.
bastion of acceptable discrimination is baldness. And I think that look, I try to make fun. Like I'll make fun of bald people. I'll make fun of myself, but I also make fun of Catholics. I also make fun of Christians. I also make fun of blacks. I make fun of whites. I make fun of men. I make fun of women. I make fun of dogs. I make fun of cats. Not as much animals because I love them because they're better than we are anyway. But here's my question. Here's my question. If I make fun of everybody,
yes,
is that discrimination?
No.
Because you can't discriminate
it's
when you include everybody, right?
No, yeah, it's a joke.
I mean, just by definition, I should be in the clear. Now, the key is I got to make sure I hit everybody. Demographic everywhere. I got to hit everybody. I got to ding them all at some point.
Exactly. You and I are the same. We love stand-up comics, and my lovely wife Michelle and I just a while back went and saw Tom Segura at the Chase Center, and I love Tom Segura, one of my favorite stand-up comics, and he's the same way. I mean, he makes fun of friggin' everybody, but that's the part of the world that now we're in. That gee, do we really have to be careful if comedians are wondering who they can make jokes about, who they can laugh about, who we can all laugh about. That's why
it's absurd.
Yeah, I love getting together with people like you and me and my brothers and Randy Hahn and guys that we just have fun. We just laugh at things because things are funny.
If you're a comedian, you're not offending at least somebody, then you're probably not doing it right.
No, you're not very funny.
You should probably retire. you should probably retire at that point.
Yeah.
I want to get to some stories, but I want to talk about that because I did watch a hockey game last night. I haven't watched as much as I'd like, but last night I watched. It was good to see the young kids. I mean, Smith had a hell of a no-look shot.
Yeah.
And then Macklin and then Eklund. Before we get to those two, I want to talk about Eklund first because I didn't see this coming. I didn't see him being as good as he is right now. What have you seen from Eklund in his growth? Because you could include him. You should include him. Mark Madulin is another one you'd include in kind of the youth brigade. But what have you seen from Eklund in his growth?
First off, he's only 22. We keep forgetting, because we've got Macklin who's 18 and Williams 19 and Askarov coming at 22. And you look at him and you go, he's not very big, but he plays inside all the time. And inside, he gets his nose over the puck. He is a guy who goes to the front of the net. When I talked to William, it was last year, and he hadn't scored in quite a few games. And usually guys go through they'll start to, better than anybody as a pro athlete, that confidence is a real fragile thing. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do, you're not winning, you're not scoring goals in the NHL, then you start to feel it. I said to him, and I said, does it affect you? And he goes, no. He goes, I know I'm supposed to do that. I'm supposed to score goals. That's what they expect me to do. So I'm going to just keep working on stuff to help me score goals. And then he broke it down. He goes, I got to get my feet moving more once I get in the offensive zone. I got to take pucks to the net. I got to hang on to them more. I got to cut back more. So he had it in his head. This is how I have to play in order to be successful. At 21 years old in the NHL, to have that self-awareness, that look in the mirror attitude, to me was incredible because a lot of guys, they're not, it takes them a while to figure it out. And William, this is only really his second full season, but he's got a good hockey IQ. He's hard on himself, but not to the point where he beats himself up. He just knows what he has to do to be effective. And he has been incredible. Absolutely incredible. I really, he and Zetterlund are great that they're together. I like being around them. The simple fact is Zetterlund's absolute kook and funny. Williams the other way. They have a nice little yin and yang going. But I think, like I said, it's only his second full season, and he's already got 46 points, which surpasses last year, and we got 20 games to go. He's going to be a real player, man. He's going to be a real one.
And what about Smith? What do you see from Smith?
Okay, I don't know if I told you not. So I maybe shouldn't tell stories out of school, but the players, they always play those soccer games, right? Keep the ball in the air. Okay. Well, Will and Macklin only go play with each other. And you've been down to our offices where our offices
Yep.
are, and they play in that little Vom area, right? It's just the two of them. And they will ring it off our door as hard as they can. There's some glass there as well. Like just as hard as they can, to the point that I've got to come out, and I have done it more than one time before a game. And they're laughing away and saying things like, I am straight up Ronaldo, things like that. Okay. And I poke my head out and go, do I have to call your parents? And they'll go, for what? I said, for banging the ball off. He goes, no, that wasn't us. We heard the noise too. We'll check it out for you. And I said, oh, shut up, you two. They've broken, I don't know how many ceiling tiles, sprinkler head. And then they're like, they go running back in. Like, they're kids, but it's so great the fact that they're together, right? And what I see with Will, and I asked at the start of the year, there were questions because he wasn't Macklin. Macklin's so dynamic and so noticeable and so smooth. Will was trying to figure out the game, and I asked Sharks management, like, what do you see that he needs to do? And I was told, relax. He'll get it. He's been playing chess, and now he needs to play speed chess, but he's smart enough that he'll get it. And he's determined enough that he was going to get it. And that's what happened. I got to give Sharks management credit. They handled him beautifully. Those maintenance days, they didn't put too much pressure on him, but at the same time, they knew that because they knew he would put pressure on himself. His game is picked up. A lot of it has to do with his relationship with Macklin. A lot of it has to do with the veterans they've got around, like Tyler Toffoli and Barkley Goodrow and Luke Cunningham, those guys. They've helped him. But the kid he's got confidence, man. He's funny. Yeah. He's got a great smile. I said to him, one day we were going off the airplane, and we wait till the players, broadcast, we wait till the players go by and go last. And Will's got like a blue suit on, and he's a great looking kid. I mean, he's a great looking kid. And I said to him, you should be a movie star. And he takes about 2 steps. He turns, looks back at me and goes, I am a movie star. And he just keeps going on. 19 years old, man. He's got the world, and he's very cool about it. And his game now is at the NHL level.
The thing I love about Macklin is, I mean, you could tell there's something different about him.
Yes.
The cutback move he had against the Sabres was just sick.
Wasn't
it's just like guys don't do that stuff.
No.
But he also has some ass in him too. Like, he's not just a skill guy. He's like, you know what? I'll F you up too. Like, he's that type of guy, right? Who has some badass in him. You remind me a little bit of Joe Thornton. Joe Thornton, about as skilled as they come, but you don't want to mess with Joe. Like, Joe, get up in your shit. So I just love that about him. Like, at that age, to be able to do those sort of things, and his body's only going to grow, and he's going to grow. I mean, I think you're looking at a guy that, is going to be on, Olympic teams, and is going to be on the national teams, and is going to be, one of the guys are going to be voting on for awards at the end of the year. Like, you look at him, and from what his dad tells me, he's like the ultimate self-motivator. Like, this guy is just like, he doesn't need to be told. He just like, I know I need to do it, and I'll do it as hard as I need to do it.
The only thing I would criticize Macklin on is his body language. He's so hard on himself. That self-motivating thing. You could see if he doesn't go out and do something perfect, he's like, and that's he'll get that. I look at Macklin, and I'm wondering, and you would know more than me, but he was a very young. Well, he's 18 now.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Much younger than he was when he was here with his dad, and when they moved from Vancouver to the Warriors. And I know he was around those guys for a while, every once in a while. But to me, I think one of the reasons he is who he is mentally and emotionally is because of Rick and the association with the Warriors, and seeing and being around those guys, champions, great players, but also having a father who could point out these things like, hey, come here. That's why he's doing that. Like we say sports gives you life lessons. Only if somebody's there, or only if you recognize there's a lesson to be had. Like, so for me, I don't know. I'm thinking Rick, and I got to meet Rick a couple times, and I haven't had any in-depth talks with him, but I've got to think that relationship with Rick, the Warriors, and Macklin has a lot to do with who Macklin is already at 18 years old as an athlete.
I don't think there's any doubt about it. So I wanted to ask you this because I wanted to get into the Four Nations and ask you about that as well. But I hate to bring this up, but you were a part of some pretty bad Sharks teams back in the.
You think?
Back in the What turned it around? What was and it was different, right? Because that was just an expansion team. You're starting young. You got a lot of vets on that team. This team is in a situation where you're good for 20 years. You're building. You got youth, and you're trying to build around the youth. But what was it that turned it around there and kind of got it pointed in the right direction? Because for those Sharks fans that are watching now, like, I think they're on the right track. They should get they might get the #1 pick overall again. But this is the way to do it. Like, it's painful. It really hurts. But if you want to set yourself up for a decade plus, then this is the way you got to go do it. But what was it back then that kind of changed and made the team good and made the team have belief that they could compete against the teams and do something?
Well, I'd like to tell you it was coaching because they kept me over from the second year to the third year. But
this is true. Yeah, no, I discounted that.
For people that don't know, we lost 100 games in the first 2 years of the franchise, lost 100 games quicker than anybody in the history of the National Hockey League. I was part of that coaching staff. Thank you very much. That second year, we lost 71 games, 11, 71, and 2. We played 2 neutral site games that year. The next year, we played at the Cow Palace. The next year, we move into the new building in San Jose. And we have the biggest point improvement from one season to the next, 58 points. We make the playoffs, beat Detroit, and come within a crossbar of beating Toronto, who was in the Western Conference. Of course they were. So was Detroit. Of course they were.
Was that Clark and Gilmore?
Yeah, it was Clark and Gilmore. Yeah.
Sweet Dougie Gilmore.
Yeah, exactly. And then after that, made playoffs again, a little bit of a fallback, and then boom, they took off. But I will say this with all due respect to all the coaches and all the managers and all the people involved, players are what makes the difference. You know better than anybody. Yep. So you look at this team this year. Look at the team last year and where they finished. There's, I think, 12 guys from that team that no longer play in the National Hockey League. Some are in Europe, some don't play anymore, some are in the AHL, but 12 guys. That's a lot. That third year, I'm trying to think how many we had that transferred from the second year, and it was only a handful. We brought in Larionov and Makarov, and Garpy was with us then. Jeff Norton, Duchesne, Baker, Airy. We brought in a lot of guys that were Todd Ellick, who was fantastic for us. A lot of veteran guys. So you could do that then. You can't do that now with cap and with contracts that Mike Grier was saddled with. And I don't mean that in disrespect to the previous management, but he just was. There's some contracts. They had to tear it down before they could start to build it up. And I think this is really the first full year of a build-up. So you get veteran players around. The veteran players he gets Toffoli, Stanley Cup champion. Got Jan Ruda, who's a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. You got Barclay Goodrow back, who's a 2-time Stanley Cup champion. You have Nico Sturm, who I absolutely love, Stanley Cup champion. So you have Stanley Cup champions around as veteran. So veteran guys who have accomplished something. And then you draft well. You get fortunate. You get Macklin Celebrini, but you got Will Smith the year before. You got Henry Thrum that came in as free agent. You got all these young players, but they're around guys that are veteran players that show the way. And even though they haven't won, again, I thought they were going to win more, Tommy. I really did. But you look at them and you go, okay. Well, I said this, they're losing better. But now with 25 games left to go after the Four Nations, I was really curious about how they play. And on this road trip, they're busting their ass. They're competing. And that's the one, Tommy, like as a pro athlete, there's a difference between working hard and competing. And they're competing.
Yeah. I've never heard it put that way before. That was very clever. They're losing better. I mean, that's
every once in a while I come
about. I mean, well, that's you don't talk about putting whipped cream on shit. I mean, that's you almost made it sound appetizing, like there's a cherry on it or something. Like, wow, hey guys, we're losing better. That sounds pretty good. Hey, let's go get a beer. Well done. Good job. All right, let me talk to you about Four Nations because I'm hoping this is something they can do again, maybe in 2 years. Like, I can't imagine they could replace. Okay, I can't imagine you could replace the All-Star game every year with this. Like, it's just it's too much effort. The guys, like, it's awesome they care this much, but it's almost like detrimental. Like, because if I'm a GM of a team, I'm like, well, we're not paying this guy to go get his ass kicked during the Four Nations. Like, of course he's going to play hard. He has a Maple Leaf. He has USA. He has Finland. He has Sweden. And whatever. Like, it's awesome. Like, I don't know how it'll translate to hockey. I'm hoping it translates well because, look, it's not the way you want to start hockey games. Maybe you do want to start hockey games with 3 fights in 9 seconds. I mean, maybe that'd be incredible. Like every day, hey, come, don't miss the fight, get there early. Yeah. there's gonna be 3 of them. I mean, the Kachucks are goofy anyway. I mean, they're built they're built like that. But it was awesome, and it just showed how much they cared because, like I said, Drew, it was guys who play in Canada.
Yep.
That were playing for the U.S. Guys that play in the U.S. that were playing for Canada. There were teammates against teammates that were going at it. Like it just, and that they cared so much. That's why it felt like this is probably going to be maybe the best sporting event of the year. And I'm talking NBA Finals, World Series, Super Bowl. Like this was so intense and so much fun to watch. Is there a translation here? Does hockey get a bump?
Well, it did during the Four Nations. Okay. And you talk about Americans and Canadian, and that's like, make no mistake about it. That is the rivalry.
Yes.
It used to be Canada, USSR. Then it was in 1980 Miracle on Ice. It was US versus the USSR. But now it's Canada and the US. And going into this tournament, after the round robin game where the US beat Canada, they asked Matthew Tkachuk about it. And Matthew said, I've been waiting 9 years for this. You know, it's a long, long time. And Canada's always been the hockey nation, right? That's our game. That's been our thing. And all of a sudden now, when you start to look at the best players in the world, you look at some of the two of the captains on Canadian teams, the Toronto Maple Leafs,
Yeah.
Their best player is Austin Matthews born in San Ramon and grew up in Arizona. And Brady Tkachuk is the captain of the Ottawa Senators, Canada's capital. And some of the best players in the world. I mean, they are great players and they are winners. Matthew Tkachuk is a winner in what he's done in Florida, taking them where he is. And right now you're seeing a lot of American players, because I think America has done a really good job on player development versus what Canada's done. And without getting into it, there's going to be some big changes in the Canadian Hockey League, which is junior hockey in Canada, because now the NCAA and the CHL have been able to come up with an agreement where you can play some CHL games, like world or like junior hockey, and then go the next year and go play for a college team. So that's going to change a bunch of things. But that round robin game was as intense as it could get, and it showed that America is now right there with Canada as far as the best hockey nations on the planet. Look what they've done in World Junior play. Look what they've done, being able to continue to bring top player after top player, the Hughes brothers, the Tkachuks, Matthews, and it goes on and on. So that rivalry is strong, and it's even stronger now because of the political goings on back and forth and the tariffs, et cetera, and Canada becoming the 51st state, which I hope it happens soon. When you look at
can you imagine a line of McDavid, McKinnon, and Matthews? That's going to be great when you guys become the 51st state.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man. I mean, that would just crush everybody.
Everybody.
It's going to be so good.
So we're in.
By the way, Canada. The first Canadian I've ever heard say, "I hope it happens soon."
Oh, real quick. So we're in Canada. They're booing the national anthem, which listen. The first step to removing the national anthems before games altogether would be fine with me.
I agree.
Totally. Thank you. But they're booing the national anthem. And it was after about the fourth time. I can't remember where we were, but they start booing the national. I think it was Toronto. They start booing the national anthem again. The Star Spangled Banner. I look over at Randy and go, "Man, these Canadian cities really hate their anthem singers." He looked at me. And the girl.
Yeah, I'm sure Randy sidestepped that one rather definitely.
The girl who was our stage, it was Ottawa, that's what it was. The girl who was our stage manager, she comes over after and she goes, "No," like she didn't know who we are. She goes, "No, there's big political rivalry between Trump and Trudeau, and she's going on, and Randy and I are like, oh, really? Okay, well,
really,
that's discriminatory. You guys shouldn't boo our national anthem, not knowing that we're both Canadians. But anyway, but it's that the rivalry is heated. Fan wise, the rivalry is heated. It's great for the game. It's fantastic for the game.
Yeah. No, I thought it was incredible.
And we get to do it next year in the Olympics.
Yeah, you told me the Olympics will be even more bonkers. The only problem with the Olympics, though, is you won't have home ice. You won't have one game in Canada, one game in U.S. That's what made it cool. Like, if they play each other, which I'm hoping they will, it's in Italy.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's fine. It'll be fun. But, how good, and I don't know if Russia's ever going to be able to join the fray again. But if they did, how good would their team be? Well, would they be 3?
Yeah. Well, they got 2 of the best goaltenders in the world, Vasilevsky and Shesterkin.
Yep.
So that helps. They have got Alexander Ovechkin still 10 goals away from catching Gretzky.
Incredible.
Or 11 goals away from catching Gretzky. They've got Kucherov, from the best players in the world. Panarin, who is a great goal scorer, almost, I think, 800 points in his career. They're going to be good, really good offensively. I'm not sure how good they'll be on D, but they're Russia. They still got players. They're still formidable. They'll be team. The team that I look at is the Finns. I like the Finns a lot. They weren't able to get on track, but I like the Finns. They're a little undersized, but they're still damn good.
I got to ask you one trade question, not even a Sharks question, but it was I don't pay attention to all the trades and everything, but this one caught my eye. When Rantanen got traded, I was like, wow, like I was like, wait a minute. Like him and McKinnon McCarr, that's like, I mean, it's like one of the best threesomes in the game. Like, why would you break that up? And I don't know, salary cap. I don't know. I don't understand like what the salary cap is in hockey and how that affects some of the players. But that was one of the ones. And where did he go? Did he go to Carolina?
Carolina.
Well, they got to be the favorites now, don't they, to win the? No,
because Rantanen hasn't worked out as well in Carolina as they would hope so far. He's not happy. He didn't want to get traded from Colorado.
Oh.
Now, let's go back.
Opposite of Anthony Davis when he wanted to get traded. Give me the hell out of New Orleans. I want to get out of here.
Let's get out of here.
He wanted to stay.
So, Rantanen wanted to stay in Colorado, loves it in Colorado, but it is a money issue. So, last year, Carolina trades for Getzel. Tim Getzel played so great in the Four Nations. Getzel's a hell of a player.
He's really good.
They weren't able to keep him because he was a free agent guy getting traded. Okay, that's why Pittsburgh traded him, which was a horrible trade for Pittsburgh. They shouldn't have done it. They should have kept him because he wanted to play with Crosby. Crosby wanted him. They didn't figure it out.
Yep.
General managers sometimes you wonder how. Anyway, so they make the move for Rantanen. Rantanen's a free agent coming up. Okay, he apparently was offered. First of all, the fact that you trade for this guy. You give up Marty Necas, who's a hell of a player, and you give up a couple of other assets, and you don't have any assurances that he is going to sign with your team. Oh, that's risky. That's so risky. So apparently they've offered him $100+ million contract for 7 years. 7 years. And he is I'm thinking. Like somebody offered me $100 million. Well, you know what I do. Anyway, when you look at
offered me $10 million, I'd be okay.
$1 million, I'm going. So they were upset they lost Gensel last year, and now they're in the risk of losing Rantanen if he decides to walk in free agency. But there's a big rumors going around with only a couple days left in the week on the trade deadline. Friday's on the 7th is the trade deadline, is that he might get traded from Carolina. Because they want to get some assets back, and Rantanen.
Really?
But it's a risky trade because you don't know whether you're going to be able to keep him as well if you're going to give up some assets to get him. He hasn't played great. He's still a hell of a player, but Colorado's seen a boom because Marty Necas is playing wonderful. But like you said, you're playing with McKinnon, you're playing with McCarr, you're playing with a really good hockey team. But Rantanen it's going to be really interesting to see if Rantanen sticks around, and if he does stick around, whether he'll stick around to next year. Once free agency kicks in.
Let's do it again soon.
Okay, buddy. Great seeing you, man.
I love this. I love the format. I get to see you. It looks like you're wearing your what is that? A Champions?
Yeah, that's the only time.
Where'd you get that big? Where'd you get that Big 5?
I might have ordered this one online.
No, you didn't. You get that from the Sharks locker room.
No, okay. Quick story.
Really? Why would you pay for stuff? You work for a hockey team. Like I got all kinds of Warriors stuff. Why would I pay for stuff? If it's free, it's me. I'll take 3.
I saw the coaching staff and a couple of guys in the Sharks wearing a tan colored Sharks color sweatshirt. Really nice.
Yeah.
And it's just logo's the same color as sweatshirt. I thought that's really sharp. So I ordered one, $197. Okay.
What did you order it?
So
goddamn.
So I wear it to practice one day, and
you ordered it and wore it to practice.
Ryan comes over because sometimes I wear a sweatshirt. Ryan comes over. He's one of the equipment guys. He goes, "Did I give you that?" I went, "No, I bought it." And Johnny Loeffner is the other guy. Johnny Loeffner is the assistant equipment manager. He goes, "You did what?" I said, "I bought that." He goes, "How much?" I went, $97 delivered to the office. And he goes, I said, "I didn't have it in stock up top." And he goes, "You paid for it." I said, "Yeah." And they went, "You're an idiot. Why would you pay for it?" And I said, "You mean you would have given me one?" They said, "Yeah, we would have given you one." But so every time I wear it, I'll walk into the dressing room after practice, and one of them will say, "Hey, is that your $97 sweatshirt you're wearing?" You just made a point. Me for a long time. I'm not bright. I'm not a smart guy.
Well, now you know what you've done now. I don't know if you thought this through, but now that you've done that, now you can get anything you want. Now you're good. Now you're good because they're like, "Are you kidding me? You paid for something and they gave you the okay. What did you come up? I would have given you one." So now
I'm gonna go. That's a good idea.
You're good to go. You're absolutely good to go.
Like I still have. How long's the grace period? How long's the grace period for that though? Like how long can I milk that for?
Oh, you can milk that forever. You can just keep saying this is the one I bought. Yeah, no, this one's the free one you gave me. This is the one I bought. This is the one I bought.
No. The one you gave me, I gave it to a homeless person. No,
I remember Kurt Rambis. I doubt he was the first one to ever say it, but when I was in Charlotte, he told me that. He goes, "If it's free, it's me, and I'll take 3." And it was in reference to back in the day. We traveled commercial, so you had to wear the suit and tie or sports coat, stuff like that. And this dude, I don't like dressing up. I hated ties.
You're 6'8". How much?
Actually, I went to a wedding like a month ago.
Yeah.
I kid you not, it's the first time I've ever tied a tie. Ever. I had my dad tie it for me. I had my brother tie it for me. And you too?
You call tie 99, man. You know, they used to call me tie 99, right? Because I never freaking miss with my ties, ever. I am the king of tying ties.
I know.
Yes. I am the best.
I should give it to you. So what I would do is they'd tie it for me.
Yeah.
And then it'd stay tied for like 8 years. Like it'd just be in the same knot. And I'd just cinch it really carefully so I didn't unravel it. And I just bring it up and put it back down. And so, I did the YouTube video getting ready for the wedding, and it was the sickest looking tie, sick in a bad way. It was just right. It looked like it was diseased. Like it had some terminal illness ties. It's just brutal.
It's hard for big guys. It's hard.
No. So Kurt Rambis I've never seen this before. It was a neoprene tie. It was made out of wetsuit material.
What?
And it was reversible. It was black and blue. Reversible tie. I'm like, wow. I go, you are super cheap. And I mean, you care less than I do about fashion, which is impossible. But you're also super cheap on top of it. That you got an awful neoprene tie that you could it's a reversible tie. It's like a practice uni. You just reverse it. Okay, teal and white out there.
You're on the teal. You're on the teal team. Switch it over.
I should just send my ties down to you.
Yeah,
because you're tie. I mean, you are somebody that you know how to dress.
Yeah, we don't. That's
something that Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's only a smidgen below your broadcasting skills as your actual fashion skills, like right there.
Thank you, buddy. But as Lyndon Byers, one of our players on our first year, once told me, I walked in the dressing room once, double-breasted back in the '90s with the big shoulders, and I'm looking freaking great, like I think I am anyway. And Lyndon Byers looks up and goes, "Drew, you look great." I said, "Thanks, LB." He goes, "Yeah, from the shin down." Oh, okay.
We take what we can get.
Yeah, exactly.
We take what we can get, right? I mean, what are you going to do about it? I only concern myself with things I can change, Drew, and I can't change that. I mean, I guess I could, in theory.
I told you.
If I wanted to get like a sledgehammer, or not that way. Don't do that.
No, okay.
Don't do that. Don't do that. If I swear, if I come on with you one time and you're all sheened out, like don't do that. Don't do that. You're gonna get us in trouble now.
Get the filler. Oh, yeah, exactly. There goes our Botox. Brother. There goes our Botox sponsorship.
Yeah, there it is. There goes our sponsorship. Our Botox sponsor. Hey, man, I love you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, everybody, I love you too. You know I do. Anytime.
Let's do it again. And yes, I will take you up on that offer. When you're out here and you're free one of these Friday nights, come on over, sit in the backyard, and we'll tell stories for a couple hours.
Deal. Love it.
And I'll have to make it down to another Sharks game too. It's always always fun. I love getting down there to the tank, and love getting a chance to see you. So tell everybody I said hi. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon, man.
Okay, buddy. Great seeing you.
All right, Drew. Take it easy, pal. See ya.